One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. To let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides onto his ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar. Insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hears battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Well, listen up, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a Topless Taco Tuesday. Let's get it, man. Feels ultra good, man. Great to see everyone in the building. Always appreciate all you legends. Also want to give a special shout out to our friends and family over there from Motobomb, Virginia, and the coffee crew, man. I very much appreciate that. Absolutely, man. Thank you guys for the raid and all of you legends joining in this morning. So we've got a big one for you guys. As we always seem to do now, it's just like normal at this point. Manhunt for Brown University shooting, as well as Hegseth-Rubio, Venezuela boat strike hearing is happening today, and more. Now, the reason why I put and more, as you guys know, I can't fit everything into the title. We have a lot that we usually cover here, anywhere from 8 to like 10 stories per morning, but today we're doing 12, so feels ultra bad. Got a lot of shit going on. So we're pretty much going to have to get right into this shit, but I'll give you guys the chronological timeline of what we're dealing with this morning. So we're going to start off with Nick Reiner, which is the son of, the man that just died, unfortunately, arrested on murder charge. And yes, he apparently he killed his own parents, and then they go into his drug habits and all of that stuff. So anyways, and then at the same time that this is all happening, the FBI also announces that there was arrest in foiled CANYE terror plot. So it was like a terrorist thing that was happening, and it was being organized from New York or New Year's Eve for LA, Los Angeles. And apparently they got involved and they arrested 4 guys before they were going to bomb LA, quote unquote. Very interesting. And then another thing, Trump gets involved regarding Rob Reiner, right? Trump critical of Rob Reiner in wake of killing. Now, as you guys know, he did make some comments regarding Rob, and many Republicans even came back and said, that's not right, that's not cool, you shouldn't do that. Some people think that he was like celebrating Rob's death, which is not the case. We saw celebration of death, such as someone like Charlie Kirk. I don't see anyone that's actually trying to make extreme light of Rob Reiner and his situation. Now, do I critique what Trump is saying about dude right now? You shouldn't be politicizing things at the very second, right when it fucking happens. Show some compassion. Those are my worldviews, right? But anyways, we're going to move on. We got so much shit to go through. Brown University student speaks out amid manhunt. Very interesting as well. You know that they're going to go to the public with all this shit. Then regarding the Brown shooting again, police release some new video. And then Trump takes some questions and responds to his controversial Reiner post, and then doubles down even. Trump answers questions on Rob Reiner, marijuana reclassification, and Syria and more. And yes, Trump is planning essentially to bring marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. And that would be a huge thing in the United States. We were hoping we would see that executive order happen yesterday, actually, because they said as early as Monday that it could happen. So we'll see what happens regarding that. Syria ambush attack. U.S. Army names troops, the names of the Army, two guys that unfortunately died over there in Syria, are actually shown. We actually see what those two soldiers look like. And then, quote, or this is the title of this section right here. What we know about Nick Reiner, who's been arrested after death of Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer. Okay. Then regarding Bondi Beach attack over there in Australia, Sydney, Australia. Bondi Beach update. Officials talk gun control after Hanukkah terror attack. These guys are idiots.
Bruh.
Let's go ahead. Guns are already illegal, so let's go ahead and make them more illegal, which makes no sense because it doesn't stop anything. Okay, video. We have a latest U.S. triple drug boat strike kills 8 in the Pacific. This just comes out 4 hours ago. The U.S. military just released a new video, shows the moments it attacks 3 boats accused of smuggling drugs in the Eastern Pacific Ocean, killing a total of 8 people as scrutiny over the boat strikes is intensifying in Congress. This also comes as Secretary Rubio and Defense Secretary Hegseth are expected to go before the Senate regarding the strikes, which is happening today. The military said it in a statement on social media that the strikes targeted, quote, designated terrorist organizations, killing 3 people in the first vessel, 2 in the second boat, and 3 in the third boat. It didn't provide evidence of their alleged drug trafficking, but posted a video of the boat moving through water before exploding, which is standard. We have basically seen that on every single one of these boat strikes. Okay, moving on. Another thing regarding the manhunt for the Brown University shooter came out 2 hours ago and says new leads in manhunt for Brown University shooter. And then we have new details emerge in murder of Rob Reiner. So this is just rolling out, and that's just an hour ago. And last but not least, I think, let's see, that is our entire lineup as of right this second. Okay, good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and do our call to actions real quick, and then we'll get right into it. Make sure you guys come in and hit the like button. It helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. If you guys are brand new to the channel, also hit the subscribe button because it's also free. But let's go ahead and get the money part over. Please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves as well as have these lights on. So I very much appreciate you guys becoming members and staying members. Little side note, follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, also the campaign trail. Make sure you guys follow me over there and direct message me and stuff like that. We also have a Discord server for all of you legends for the IWF. Make sure you guys join up on that. One of the moderators will drop a link for you guys. If not, go down into the video description box down below, and that's where the invites are. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, well, then we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to at any time, and I will read it out loud like a super chat. And I get to keep 100% of the proceeds. Feels ultra good. All right, we got our email up, so if anything comes through our way, of course, I will see it right away. All right, all you legends, we got to get really fucking into this. We got a lot of stuff that we got to cover, 12 stories. So I'm going to be really fast and just do this. And we got Brother TVT and Sterling Will, as well as Steve Easy. Good morning to you guys. We got Warland, as well as Jimmy Mack. Appreciate you guys. We got Extra Surprise, as well as Steve Posey. Thank you, sir. Great to see you in the chat as well. We got David, as well as Tiffany. Great to see you guys. Thank you so much. And that's very true, Mad Rush. Boats went boom. That's exactly what you're very right. We got Crystal Kitten in the building, as well as SNS. Good morning to you guys. We got Sleepy Time, as well as Joseph up there in Canada, one of our favorite snow Mexicans. And he says, stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Actually, stop the chirp. Yes, sir. Feels ultra bad. All right, let's see. We're scrolling down. We got Gary in the building as well. Good morning to you. Great to see you. And money me now, a lot now. I like that. Yes, sir. All right, so we're going to get right into this, guys. I'm sorry if I missed you guys. We have all many legends in here right now, so I'm very honored. All right, so we're going to start off with Nick Reiner arrested on murder charges. This is in chronological order. We have a lot of updates on many of these stories, such as Nick Reiner and his updates, as well as the Brown University shooter, or the active manhunt that is happening for the shooter, is all spaced out. So we're going to chronologically figure out how the story is unfolding, and that's how we have context, right? Anyways, this is a very quick update. It's only like a minute and 40 seconds or whatever.
Information at this stage is still limited, but I'll share what we can. First of all, our hearts go out to the family.
Of course. And real quick, we got Sterling Will gifting out a membership. Let's fucking go, man. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate that. It goes a long fucking way and helps someone in the Breakfast Club, man. So I very much appreciate that. We got Dylan Patterson saying, "Morning, Mike. Great to see you in the chat, man." As well as Prez. Thank you guys for showing up.
Friends of the Reiners, a tragic incident. Yesterday at December 14th, about 3:40 in the afternoon, LAPD responded to a residence.
Oh, shit. Happy fucking belated birthday, Crystal. I'm so sorry for just seeing this.
The residence
awesome.
of Rob and Michelle Reiner, located in West Los Angeles Division. At that location, they found two deceased adults, a male and a female. Through the night, working with the coroner's office, they were able to identify them definitively as Rob and Michelle Reiner. We have our robbery homicide division handling the investigation. They worked throughout the night on this case.
What's up, Stacks? Good morning to you as well. Happy Topless Taco Tuesday.
And we're able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case. He was subsequently booked for murder and is being held on $4 million bail.
I'm surprised that he even has bail.
Pretty much that's what I can share at this point. But again, a very, very tragic incident.
But $4 million bail is no joke. I mean, you need to come up with a minimum of $400,000, right?
Can you talk about, I know Deputy Hamilton talked about the search warrant, how important that was because of something he died. Can you talk about where that played a role in this and what you guys needed in order to gain access?
Yeah, we use search warrants to be able to further our investigation, as you know.
Well, of course.
On all of these cases. I wouldn't be in a position to talk specifically.
Okay, so you're not going to give us any more information on that. Okay, cool. We'll just move on then. Okay, so Trump critical of Rob Reiner in wake of killing. Now, many Republicans have actually condemned Trump on basically his comments regarding Rob, but let's go and get into it.
We will continue to check in with Fox 11 and their reporting in Los Angeles on the death there of Rob Reiner.
Man, why does it always start off with the captions now? There we go.
And his wife. President Trump putting it out earlier today on his Truth Social, talking about the death of Rob Reiner and his wife, saying a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome.
Now, yes, that may even be true to an extent, but you're gonna instantly come out and talk about TDS, which is Trump deranged syndrome, right? It's a bit narcissist play to play at that very moment. You can say that later, you know what I mean? But like right as it fucking happens, come on, man.
To as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps.
Well, I guess I never thought I'd say it, but well, actually, we have said it a few times on here. Where Trump was going into Iran and shit like that, and I totally condemned that. I'm like, we should not be fucking going and bombing Iran right now. And I pulled out a joint or a left-handed tobacco thing right here, and I said, well, I'm going to do this because Trump is making me do it. Well, we're going to go ahead and let you guys know that this one's for Trump, actually. Shit.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
All right, back to
like
this.
never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace there. So that was a statement from President Trump, as you could.
What's up, Miss Lotus? Yeah, I know. I trust me. I'm being honest about it as well. He shouldn't have done that right away. I mean, he could have done that even maybe a little bit later, but should have just shown some compassion first, and then you can talk shit. You know.
Imagine it is not going over well in political circles right now. Thomas Massey, Representative Thomas Massey, putting this out, saying, regardless of how you felt about Rob Reiner, this is inappropriate and disrespectful discourse about a man who was just brutally murdered. I guess my
And by the way, I do believe that. By the way, Steve Posey, he says, to be honest, Rob did have a really bad case of TDS, and I'm not saying that he didn't. By the way. I'm not saying that part either.
The GOP colleagues, the VP, and the White House staff will just ignore it because they're afraid. I challenge anyone to defend it. And then some other reaction as well from Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, saying Rob Reiner and his wife were tragically killed at the hands of their own son, who reportedly had drug addiction and other issues, and their remaining children are left in serious mourning and heartbreak. This is a family tragedy, not about politics or political enemies. Many families deal with a family member with drug addiction and mental
What's up, Unique, by the way?
health issues.
Good morning.
It's incredibly difficult and should be met with empathy, especially when it ends in murder. We do have some other reaction as well from Representative Lofgren, saying Rob Reiner was a beloved Californian.
And that part is true, but two wrongs doesn't make a right, and we can only control ourselves, right? We can't control other people and what other people do. And so I expect more out of Trump than I do than, people like Rob, who doesn't hold office, right?
And who always used his platform to make the world better. Donald Trump making light of him and his wife's murderers is a new low for this petty, hateful man. His party needs to condemn this. So that is the reaction there from President Trump's statement that he put on Truth Social some 3 hours ago. So again, we will be continuing to get more updates on this tragic incident involving the Reiners.
Of course, and we do have those updates, by the way. So we're gonna continue on because we're showing chronologically what's happened in the last basically 23 hours since we've seen each other on here. So. Anyways, we have a few things that we're gonna be updating as we go, such as the Brown University. We have like 3 or 4 different chronological updates on that, and so of course that's what we're gonna do. Is we're gonna show you guys exactly what the media was portraying during these times. So, anyways, we're gonna move into Brown University. Brown University student speaks out amid the manhunt. So let's go and bring this up, see if we can get any context out of this. We'll probably end up skipping around a lot of these kind of things. And trying to get as much information that we can, because we're not going to listen to 10 minutes of this guy that's going to come on as a person from Brown University. I really don't care about people's opinions too much. Unless you were fucking right there, you saw the shooter, I really don't fucking care about your speculation.
I did want to bring in Brown University student Ian Ritter to speak more on this. Ian, we appreciate you taking the time to join us here on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So I have to imagine, Ian, so many people are still trying to wrap their minds around the tragedy that happened on the campus of Brown University. How
and that's good that he did, Steve Posey.
are you and your friends and your family holding up?
Yeah, so I was very lucky to not be on campus at the time.
Oh my God, so it's going to be pure speculation. And I got a question for you, Ian.
Why are you gay?
Just asking.
Time of the incident, I was already home for the holidays, but I got a text around 4:10 on Saturday from one of my news editors that there was something going on at the engineering building. So from then on, I've basically been on my phone, calling, texting people, making sure everybody's okay, and really trying to figure out what's going on. And as a reporter for the school newspaper, we've really been trying to piece together the student perspectives and really how everybody's feeling. I think people are looking for information, and I think right now we just don't have that to offer.
And so you've been speaking with a lot of your friends on campus. You also had a chance to speak with one of the victims, Spencer Yang, who was shot.
What up, Terry? Hopefully you're enjoying your Taco Tuesday, or your topless Taco Tuesday.
What
so
did he
far.
share with you during that conversation?
Yeah, so when I spoke with Spencer, I believe it was that
Okay,
day.
this shit is too much. Fuck this guy. He's not going to give us anything. It was pure fucking speculation. He goes, I wasn't even on campus. Okay, then why are you fucking talking to the media? You weren't even on campus. You weren't in the class that was next door or something like that. You may have not heard it, but at least you were on campus. No, this guy's going to be pure speculation. I don't give a fuck. We're going to move on. Brown shooting. Police release some sort of new video here to the public. Let's go ahead and bring this up.
We're also bringing you these live images from Brown University as the FBI continues to be on scene with other investigators from the deadly shooting that happened on Saturday evening. That manhunt does continue. And just new this hour, we are getting a new video of who police are looking for. Suspect in this case. This is the latest video just released by the Providence Police Department. And you can see several shots here and video of the suspect that they are looking for in connection.
That's the video. This is the grand video of this dude. Are you serious? We got cameras everywhere. We got phones that track us. We got fucking every house has a proper ring door. I mean, it's always got to be something bullshit from way far away that we can't even see. We can't even see what the fuck the person is. It's just some walking shadow. Great video footage, you fucks.
With this deadly shooting. And
totally, Jimmy. Totally.
Across the way. So quite some distance right now from this shot, but this new video just released here of the Brown University shooting suspect that police want to continue to try to zero in on. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this story for you on Live Now from Fox, but back out live right now as FBI and other officials there on the scene continuing try to comb through evidence on a campus to try to lead to the arrest there of that suspect that is wanted in that deadly shooting.
What are you talking about, Drew? We are in a surveillance state, okay? Not only do we have the Patriot Act against us, but we have something called the Restrict Act. Go ahead and look up what the Restrict Act is. It's crazy that we don't have any other fucking footage. We have, CCTV. We have all these fucking things in life. In modern day society now, it's crazy that they have such weak video. Anyways, we're going to move on to Trump responding to his controversial Reiner post. And I think this is where he doubles down. They ask someone, one of the reporters asked him about it and say, was that insensitive, or do you think that was insensitive? Do you take it back, or whatever the case is? And then I think he doubles down. So let's go ahead and get
a number of Republicans have denounced your
statement on
Truth Social after the murder of Rob Reiner. Do you stand by that post?
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. He said he knew it was false. In fact, it's the exact opposite, that I was a friend of Russia, controlled by Russia. It was the Russia hoax. He was one of the people behind it. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. So he became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country. Yeah.
Blue slips, Mr. President. Leader Thune doesn't seem like he wants to get rid of the blue slips. Will there be consequences for the Senate?
I think that's really it. They just capture that moment of him talking about Rob Reiner. Let me see if there's anything that else he says in this.
One Democrat senator, where we have a lot of them. You have one Democrat senator in a state. It is not possible to appoint, because of blue slips, a judge. It's not possible.
Yeah, so he's answering something else that they were asking, and I really didn't go up there, you know what I mean, for just that. So let's go ahead and get to the full context of what Trump was just doing there, answering some questions there. Trump continues to answer some questions on Rob Reiner, marijuana reclassification, Syria, and more. As you guys know, Trump is planned to, they said as early as Monday, to go ahead and reclassify marijuana as Schedule 3 instead of Schedule 1. And, that people were looking forward to that yesterday. It didn't happen yesterday. So, but this is one of the questions that was asked of him yesterday. Well, there's part of that in here. So this is the whole thing, though.
On Brown University, Mr. President, Do you know what the motive of the shooter was? Is it was
No,
it
we
a targeted
don't. No,
attack?
it's that's moving along now, and we don't. And we're going to see what happens. Hopefully, they're going to capture this animal. Hopefully, they're going to capture it.
Has Kash Patel told you why it's been so difficult for the FBI to identify who the shooter is?
Well, it's always difficult. So far, we've done a very good job of doing it with Charlie, with the various times this has happened. They've done it in pretty much record time. But you really have to ask the school a little bit more about that, because this was a school problem. They had their own guards, they had their own police, they had their own everything. But you'd have to ask that question really to the school, not to the FBI. We came in after the fact. And the FBI will do a good job, but they came in after the fact.
Do you know if it was targeted, Mr. President?
No, they don't know that yet, no.
Sir, on the issue of drugs, is it accurate that you are considering an executive order to reclassify marijuana under the control?
We are considering that, yeah.
Okay. Go deeper into that, please, Trump.
Because a lot of people want to see it, the reclassification, because it leads to tremendous amounts of research that can't be done unless you reclassify. So we are looking at that very strongly.
Mr. President.
Good. And, he did talk about, ABC, one of their representatives came out and reported that Trump could be signing this executive order of reclassification as early as Monday, which was yesterday.
Mr. President, is it true that the reports that you rebuked the Israeli Prime Minister are the reports that you rebuked the Israeli Prime Minister for the hit on the Hamas general true? And is Israel undermining your efforts to be a peacemaker?
No, Israel and I have gotten along very well. My relationship with Bibi Netanyahu has been obviously a very good one. Look, we took out...
What's up, Brother Pitbull over there across the pond in the UK? Always appreciate you. Great to see you.
Out Iran, we wiped out, with that plane right there, we wiped out the B-2 bomber, we wiped out the Iran nuclear threat, and because of that, we were able to make peace in the Middle East. No, we've had a very good relationship with Israel. We actually have a very good relationship with just about everybody in the Middle East.
Violation of the ceasefire, the striking the Hamas general?
We're going to have to. We're looking into that. Yeah, we're looking.
On the Syria ambush of U.S. forces, do you still have confidence in the Syrian president?
I do. I mean, this had nothing to do with him. This is a part of Syria that they really don't have much control over, and it was a surprise. He feels very badly about it. He's working on it. He's a strong man. And no, this had nothing to do with the Syrian government. This had to do with ISIS.
What will the U.S. response be?
As a response, they'll be hit hard, yeah.
Real America's Voice en español. First of all, thanks for honoring these heroes. The communists have lost Chile, and the pro-Trump candidate, José Antonio Caz, won the elections. Do you think this right-wing wave in the Spanish world is due to your influence?
Well, we just had a good one in Honduras, as you know. Had a great election there. I endorsed somebody that was not leading, and he won the election. And we had a good one just a couple of hours ago. I found out in Chile, the person I endorsed, who was not leading, ended up winning quite easily. So I look forward to paying my respects to him. I hear he's a very good person. Yeah.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. This year you fired Democrats from a number of federal agencies, and now going into 2026, there are some key regulators like the SEC, the CFTC that are going to have 0 Democrats. Do you plan to appoint Democrats to fill those empty spots, or do you think that federal agencies shouldn't have Democrat commissioners?
Well, do you think they would be appointing Republicans if it were up to them? So, we'll look at it. Look, we want to be fair, but typically they're not appointing Republicans. So you're asking me the question whether or not I'd appoint Democrats. But there are certain areas that we do look at, and there are certain areas that we do share power. And I'm open to that, please.
Mr. President, a number of Republicans have denounced your statement on Truth Social after the murder.
That's the one thing that they cut right here about Rob Reiner, right here.
Rob Reiner. Do you stand by that post?
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. He said he knew it was false. In fact, it's the exact opposite, that I was a friend of Russia, controlled by Russia. It was the Russia hoax. He was one of the people behind it. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. So he became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all, in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country, yeah.
Blue slips, Mr. President. Leader Thune doesn't seem like he wants to get rid of blue slips. Will there be consequences for the Senate if they...
Well, I think they should get rid of blue slips because as a Republican president, I am unable to put anybody in office having to do with U.S. attorneys or having to do with judges. In other words, if you have one, not two, you don't need...
Yeah, Donnie, I actually saw Piers Morgan call him out when Rob Reiner was interviewed like 3 months prior before his death. Actually, that's something Pierce called out on him and said, you shouldn't be comparing something that killed 12 million people.
Two, just one. If you have one Democrat senator, where we have a lot of them. You have one Democrat senator in a state. It is not possible to appoint, because of blue slips, a judge. It's not possible to appoint a U.S. attorney. You see that happening. And I think it's a disgrace. I think blue slips are a disgrace. They've long since, they should not be relevant anymore. This is a different world than it was 15, 20 years ago. You know, that was a gentleman and gentlewoman world. This is a little bit different, unfortunately. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, what do you want to see Congress do this week as it relates to health care and the expiring ACA?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd like to see the people get the money. I'd like to see all of the money that's going to the Democrat insurance companies. You know, the insurance companies are making a fortune. They're up 1,700% and more. And they're taking in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars, even trillions of dollars. And Obamacare gives you terrible health care. Just so you understand, Obamacare was set up, and I said it right from the beginning, for the benefit of the health insurance companies, of the insurance companies. They're making billions and billions of dollars.
What's up, brother Aaron? We got Aaron Olinger, by the way, in the chat, one of the co-hosts of The Diamond Effect with us. And, man, it's such a great honor to have him in here, always.
Their stock is through the roof.
Great to see you, bro.
I don't want to give them anything. I want all money going to the people, and let the people buy their own health care. It'll be unbelievable. They'll do a great job. They'll get much better health care at a much lower cost.
Would you like Republicans next year to just use reconciliation to do with health care exactly what you laid out, and they wouldn't have to worry about Democratic votes?
Well, that or knock out the filibuster. If you knocked out the filibuster, it would all go away. But we have a few people that wouldn't do that. It's crazy. Look, we should knock out the filibuster. And if you did that, we'd get voter ID. You'd have no mail-in voting, all things that make our elections dishonest. And you'd get a lot of other things having not even to do with voting. But Republicans should knock out the filibuster, and we should approve a lot of things. You wouldn't have January 30th looming, because, you know, you have the 30th of January looming. You know that, right? And if we knocked out the filibuster, it would be just a simple approval. But you have some Republicans, they're unable to explain why. You know, if you ask them why, they're unable to explain it. They cannot win the debate. But they should knock out the filibuster. And frankly, they should get rid of the blue slips, too. Yeah.
Mr. President, the Democrats won Miami.
This is the last question I'm going to take from Trump, and then we got to move on. We still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories to go through.
Where you won the election 1 year ago, do you think it's because of Hispanic media like Telemundo that are publishing fake news about the ICE operations? How do you plan to win back those votes for midterms?
Yeah, well, I won that whole election. And, you know, it's interesting. When I'm not running, we don't do as well. And I'm going to try and get that changed for the midterms. But we did have a big win in Tennessee, as you know. Matt Van Epps had a big win in Tennessee.
Okay, I really don't care about that. All right, we're going to move on. Syria ambush attack, U.S. Army names troop killed. So they actually have, I think, photos of the 2 soldiers that died in Syria. I think in this, we'll see. We're going to find out together.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Shauna Kalafi. We have an update on the 3 Americans who were killed during an attack in Syria over the weekend. The U.S. Army has named the 2 Iowa National Guard members who were killed in that attack in Syria. They are 25-year-old Sergeant Edgar Brian Torres Tovar from Des Moines and 29-year-old Sergeant William Nathaniel Howard from Marshalltown, Iowa. The Pentagon's chief spokesperson says a U.S. civilian who was working as an interpreter was also killed in that attack. The Iowa National Guard says 3 other Guard members were wounded. And now President Trump is vowing retaliation for that attack in Syria that left the 3 Americans dead. The gunman was also killed. The ISIS terror group is now being blamed for this. Fox News chief national security correspondent Jennifer Griffin tells us where things stand now.
Sergeant Edgar Brian Torres Tovar of Des Moines, Sergeant William Nathaniel Howard of Marshalltown, the 2 Iowa National Guardsmen killed by an ISIS lone gunman in Syria on Saturday. 3 other Iowa National Guardsmen were injured and an American civilian translator killed in the attack by a member of the Syrian security forces. The Syrian soldier, a new recruit, who had been told the day before he was being investigated for ties to ISIS and slated to be kicked out of the Syrian military. Sergeant Howard was the son of Meskwaki Nation Police Chief Jeffrey Bunn, who posted, quote, "We will see you again, son. Until then, we have it from here." The incident comes at a delicate time as President Trump has embraced the new Syrian leader, inviting him to the White House to help him establish control after President Bashar Assad fled from Moscow following a 14-year civil war.
The investment opportunities in the future in Syria, so that Syria is no longer looked at as a security threat.
When they do that, they should just mute him because no one's going to understand his language, you know. I don't know why they doubled it up like that.
There are about 1,000 U.S. troops currently in Syria as part of the anti-ISIS mission. Senator Lindsey Graham is pushing for strikes on ISIS training camps, but those training camps were essentially destroyed by the U.S. military over the last decade in the war against ISIS. There are an estimated 5,000 to 7,000 ISIS fighters in Syria and Iraq, and thousands of captured ISIS fighters with their families in 2 prison camps in northeastern Syria called Al-Hol and Al-Raj that Syrian allies are guarding with U.S. help. The question now, how will President Trump retaliate against ISIS for killing these Americans? The president said today in the Oval Office, quote,
"What's up, Brother Dean? Great to see you in the chat, bro."
"They'll be hit hard." The Syrian government has arrested 5 people they say were connected to the attack. In Washington, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
All right. And so, of course, anything that follows, which I think there's not much more to talk about there, but I'm sure they're going to, the media. Anyways, we're going to move on into Nick Reiner, by the way. Rob Reiner's son, obviously. What we know about Nick Reiner, who's been arrested after death of Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer, which is his parents. Let's go ahead and bring this up, and we will discuss it real quick. And real quick, though, actually, we got to get the money part over. You know what I mean? We just got to get that done.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
All right, perfect.
Denied.
And welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Pace. Always great to be with you as we continue.
What's up, Carrie? Good morning, by the way. Great to see you in here as well. Happy Topless Taco Tuesday.
To roll on. Next up, we want to continue to talk about one of the top stories that we have been following for you on the death of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer. Reiner's son, Nick, is in custody, booked for murder, according to the Los Angeles.
What's up, Bill Castle? Great to see you, and shout out to Washington State, man.
Police Chief Nick Reiner is being held on a $4 million bail. For more information on the story and the investigation, we want to continue to talk about this. Bring in our next guest to help break it all down, Attorney Trey Lavelle. Great to have you on, Trey. And this is just a horrible incident, but involves the suspect being a family member. So first off, just how does this maybe complicate issues for extended family members that are just grieving here in this process?
Wow. Well, first, what a horrific, tragic incident. Rob Reiner was an icon.
I actually don't know the answer to that. I'll look it up right now, Richard.
In the industry, an incredible producer, director, actor. He was an actor's director. Actors loved working with him. And this is just a huge, huge tragedy. As far as the extended family, I mean, we're so early into what happened, but it's going to be an incredible...
He's 32 years old. He's only 2 years older than me.
Investigation. The fact that the alleged suspect is his son, who's now in custody. Other family members are going to be, directly wanted to be interrogated, wanted to be inquired with and ask questions to find out exactly what happened if they have any insight. But it's just plundering deep into the family, which is just very, very sad.
Yeah, it's so sad, and it really goes to show that saying with you just never know what a family is going through when that door closes and what's happening really behind the scenes in a household. We are learning through TMZ that in this investigation, unfortunately, the daughter found the bodies of the parents and pretty much right away said that she believed that Nick should be the suspect in this case. Talk to us a little bit about family dynamics when it comes to this and trying to pinpoint just so early in this investigation on Nick Reiner.
Well, that's very telling that the daughter would say that. It kind of starts with the fact that Nick has a history, unfortunately, of drug addiction, of homelessness, of rehab. So we have that backdrop going into that, and one would possibly suspect that was a reason that may have led to this. But the fact that another family member would point the finger at him is very telling. And this is a celebrity family, and celebrity families are raised very differently. When you're a famous father or mother in the industry, the kids are raised very differently than at the average household. So that goes into it as well. But yeah, I my heart breaks for the families who has to endure this, deal with this. But I think we're going to find some very interesting facts as we get into this investigation.
Yeah, that's so true. And Trey, I also want to ask you this question. I think a lot of viewers may be thinking about this as well. For the suspect, Nick, just because he's only a suspect right now, of course, hasn't pled guilty or anything like that, would he be able to still use the family's money for his defense?
He should be able to use it.
Why not? Why, I mean, yeah, why would that be limited? That's an odd question.
Family's money. I mean, whatever is accorded to him. I mean, this is allegations. There's nothing been proven. Whatever financial resources he has access to now really shouldn't be affected. They wouldn't be affected unless possibly there's a conviction and some type of forfeiture, or if there's certainly a civil lawsuit and there's a judgment. But other than that, he's just a suspect, and nothing should change regarding his financial resources.
And what will happen as the criminal investigation will play out, especially in court as well, but civilly as well? Is there anything that the surviving family, the sister and others could do against Nick?
Sure, there certainly could be wrongful death, lawsuits that there very well may be, which are brought by heirs of the deceased against somebody who perpetrated it. But I think we're a little a ways from that. The first is, getting the facts of what happened.
Okay, I don't think we're going to get much more from this attorney. I mean, I think we got the majority of those answers or the questions answered there. So, okay, so let's go and move on because I think there's even more updates on Nick himself and his obvious drug past, and makes sense, whatever. But we're going to move on. Bondi Beach update. Officials talk gun control after Hanukkah terror attack. These fucking idiots.
Bruh.
It's crazy to me that let's go ahead and make more gun control for a state that it's illegal for you guys to basically have the shit. It doesn't fix anything. That's not, it doesn't make any sense. It's a great way for liberal people in government to go ahead and do what they always wanted, was as much gun control as humanly possible.
Okay, appreciate you all being here. I'm joined, of course, with the Prime Minister, Commissioner Lanyon, Commissioner Barrett, the Minister for Mental Health, Rose Jackson, the Chief Psychiatrist, and the Minister for Police. Obviously, we'll give an update on the latest in relation to the investigation and related matters. I want to make it clear, after speaking with the Prime Minister and the National Cabinet, as well as the New South Wales Cabinet, that our response to this horrifying tragedy must be comprehensive and has begun already. Our approach to this terrible crime in New South Wales is multifaceted, but I want to make it clear that our efforts to, firstly, work with the New South Wales Police on counter-terrorism efforts continue. Secondly, fighting anti-Semitism in our community, which will not be done in a week or a month, but is a long-term important project for the Government of New South Wales, working with civic leaders and the people of this state. Thirdly, gun law reform in New South Wales, with legislation brought into the New South Wales Parliament to make gun laws tougher in this state. I'm determined to bring in the toughest gun laws in Australia, and they'll be significantly tightened in New South Wales. And lastly, and importantly, and this has been reflected from civic leaders, community leaders across this state, bringing New South Wales together as a time of healing. I saw on the news some of the rabbis who gave some incredible heartfelt messages to the New South Wales community about coming together, showing love to one another, and getting through this through healing. And I thought that they were incredibly important messages right now in New South Wales, messages that we all need to hear. I'm very grateful for their intervention. I want to speak a little bit about blood donations too. I'm very happy to report that there has been 50,000 appointments to give blood in New South Wales, which I understand is a 5-fold increase.
By the way, real quick, we got over 200 of you guys. Make sure you do me a favor. You guys don't have to like all the craziness that's happening in the world, but you guys can like the video for me and what we do here. So listen, double tap that screen if you're on the vertical side, like the video on the horizontal. Appreciate you guys.
Say to the people of New South Wales, don't give up. If you haven't got an appointment, if you can't get in immediately, we require your blood. Be a blood donor in New South Wales. To put this in perspective, for somebody in trauma, they may need 100 individual donations to save their life. So this is an urgent priority. Don't give up if you're at the end of the line. Make an appointment. Do a wonderful bit of civic and public duty. I'm also here to report that small business help will be forthcoming in the next 24 hours, or we'll announce a program in the next 24 hours for small businesses in the Bondi area. We know there's...
Shit, I got you, Jimmy Mac.
Stop the cap.
huge disruption associated with this huge police investigation. There's been an impact on the local community, and part of our job after this investigation moves on is to ensure that we lift back up the Bondi community and we give people a place to come together and to return to a semblance of normal life. I want to make it clear, none of the shopkeepers, none of them have complained about this at all, but we want to have their back as they open their doors in the coming days. There's lots to say. I just want to thank the public, in particular the Jewish community and interfaith leaders, for their warm support in the government's decision to put a menorah on the New South Wales Opera House to celebrate the second day of Hanukkah. This has been a tragic event for the Jewish community of New South Wales and Australia, but we're determined to meet it head on with a program and a set of reforms to ensure that we do everything we possibly can to ensure that it's not repeated. I'm going to pass over to the Prime Minister and then Commissioner Lanning.
You know what's funny, Jimmy Mac, is not only your dog, but there's a handful of people in the chat that they're always like, dude, every time you do the chirp thing, it fucks and freaks out my dog, dude. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I keep that in mind, so I don't do it all the time, because you know what I mean.
Thanks very much, Chris. My message to Jewish Australians is that we stand with you as a nation. We embrace you at what is a terrible time. These anti-Semitic terrorist attacks will not be successful with their objective, which is to divide us as a nation. We will continue to come together as a nation and to embrace each other. Earlier today, I met with Australian hero Ahmed and his family. I met his mum and dad, who are visiting him here, as well as other relatives at St George Hospital. I thanked him for the lives that he helped to save, and I wished him all the very best with his surgery that he will undertake tomorrow. And I was able to also thank the health professionals, the doctors, nurses and staff at St George Hospital for providing support for him. Sunday's tragedy will have, of course, an immediate and lasting impact.
Just so you guys know, this is the Prime Minister of Australia speaking right now.
On many Australians, but the Jewish community here in Sydney and nationally, first responders and people in Bondi and Sydney, the impact will be particularly acute. The Australian government has made significant investments in mental health support, including expanding Headspace and the creation of Medicare mental health centres. And I encourage all Australians affected by this tragedy to consider accessing the mental health support, including through Beyond Blue on 1300 22 4636, Lifeline on 131114.
What's up? We got Mr. J.R. Bowling in the building. Shout out to my man, by the way. If you don't see, my man's right here running for Alabama State Senate, District 4, man. Make sure you guys spread the word, man. We very much appreciate you guys. All right.
Kids Helpline on 1800 55 1800. Headspace for children and young people and Medicare mental health centres are, of course, available to support people affected by this tragedy. Yesterday, I convened National Cabinet, where National Cabinet again spoke about the scourge of anti-Semitism and the commitment to stamp it out. We also agreed that Premier Minns and Premier Cook, as the incoming chair of the Council of Australian Federation, would work together to strengthen Australia's gun laws. The very nature of our gun laws means that they are only as strong as the weakest link, which is why we wanted to make sure that they followed Premier Minns' lead in committing to strengthening the gun laws that were, of course, created in the wake of the Port Arthur tragedy some 30 years ago, to give credit to the Howard government of that time and the bipartisan.
Yeah, Leo, she over there gangbanging and shit. For real.
The nature in which it was adopted. The consideration that will take place includes limiting the number of guns an individual can own, the type of guns that are legal, whether gun ownership should require Australian citizenship, and accelerating work on the National Firearms Register. This is an agreement that we reached through the National Cabinet at the end of 2023. We've provided over $160 million to do that. Included in that is over $100 million to states and territories. It is a fact that for some states and territories, they still have paper records, and that obviously makes...
What's up, Charles Darwin, down there in Australia? Speak of, well, we were talking about your country, so...
Makes it impossible to check across boundaries in a quick and efficient manner. And the digitisation that is required, we've agreed to accelerate that. We will continue to engage, and this afternoon I'll have further meetings, another meeting of the National Security Committee, further meetings this afternoon. My government is absolutely committed to working with New South Wales, as well as working with community organisations, particularly Jewish community organisations at this time. I'll call upon the Commissioner Barrett to make...
Okay, we don't need to hear anybody else. We got what we needed there from the Prime Minister. We're going to move on. Latest U.S. triple drug boat strike kills 8 in the Pacific. Now listen to this. The U.S. military released a new video shows the moments it attacked 3 boats accused of smuggling drugs in the Eastern Pacific Ocean, killing a total of 8 people as scrutiny over the boat strikes is intensifying in Congress. This also comes as Secretary Rubio and Defense Secretary Hegseth are expected to go before the Senate regarding the strikes. That's happening today. The military said in a statement on social media that the strikes targeted, quote, designated terrorist organizations, killing 3 people in the first vessel, 2 in the second boat, and 3 in the third boat. It didn't provide evidence of their alleged drug trafficking, but posted a video of a boat moving through water before exploding. All right, so let's go ahead and bring this up, and we'll go ahead and talk about it briefly. And here we go.
We have some breaking news to get to on this Tuesday.
Before we do, we've got to get the money part over as well, man.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
All right, there we go.
Denied.
Back at it.
New video has been released showcasing the latest boat strike conducted by U.S. military. Take a look at this. It was posted on X by U.S. Southern Command. Now, this is the latest that we know so far. The U.S. military saying on Monday that it attacked 3 boats accused of smuggling drugs in the Eastern Pacific Ocean, killing a total of 8 people as scrutiny over the boat strikes is intensifying in Congress. The military said in a statement on social media that the strikes targeted, quote, designated terrorist organizations, killing 3 people in the first vessel, 2 in the second boat, and 3 in the third boat. It did not provide evidence of their alleged drug trafficking, but posted this video of a boat moving through water before exploding. This video accompanied the social media post that I do want to bring up on your screen at this time. Take a look again from U.S. Southern Command saying this. On December 15th, at the direction of Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Joint Task Force Southern Spear conducted lethal kinetic strikes on 3 vessels operated by designated terrorist organizations in international waters. Intelligence confirmed that the vessels were transiting along no...
Man, there's the super chat. Yeah, I know that you know how to do it, motherfucker. But nonetheless, DMC. We also have, Cash App up there, Venmo, as well as PayPal. There's lots of options.
Narco trafficking routes in the Eastern Pacific and were engaged in narco trafficking. A total of 8 male narco terrorists were killed during these actions, 3 in the first vessel, 2 in the second, and 3 in the third. And then it does have...
What's up, Papa Penguin? By the way, great to see you in the chat.
That hashtag Operation Southern Spear. Let's take you back out to the video, though, continuing to showcase it here. President Trump is justifying the attacks as a necessary escalation to stem the flow of drugs into the United States and asserted the U.S. is engaged in an armed conflict with drug cartels. But the Trump administration is facing increasing scrutiny from lawmakers over the boat strike campaign, which has killed at least 95 people in 25 known strikes since early
September. And this is going to ramp up in Congress, guaranteed.
Including a follow-up strike that killed 2 survivors clinging to the wreckage of a boat after the first hit. This latest boat strike comes on the edge of briefings on Capitol Hill for all members of Congress as questions mount over the Trump administration's military campaign. Secretary Hegseth, Secretary Marco Rubio, and other top national security officials are expected to provide closed-door briefings for lawmakers in the House and Senate. The campaign has ramped up pressure
on Venezuela. What's up, Wildcard? By the way, good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat.
President Nicolas Maduro, who has been charged with narco-terrorism in the U.S. In a sharp escalation last week, U.S. forces seized a sanctioned oil tanker that the Trump administration has accused of smuggling illicit crude. Maduro has insisted the real purpose of the U.S. military operations is to force him from office. The U.S. military has built up its largest presence in the region in decades and launched a series of deadly strikes on alleged drug smuggling boats, in the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific Ocean. President Trump says land attacks are coming soon, but has not offered any details on location. So we just want to make sure.
Interesting. And so, of course, as these things happen, we show it. That's what we do here, Monday through Friday, man. All right, so 3 hours ago, new leads in Manhunt for Brown University shooter. All right, so, and then after that, new details emerge in murder of Rob Reiner, meaning they're talking about Nick, their son. That's just 2 hours ago. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get into this part, though. Let me go ahead and share this screen. Here it goes.
We are getting the clearest look yet at the suspected gunman who killed 2 students and hurt 9 more at Brown University on Saturday. Take a look at this in your screen. We do have a social media post here from FBI in Boston in which they include some of those surveillance images. Now, officials released new videos of the person of interest roughly 2 hours before the shooting. Joining us live now from Providence is a Fox multimedia reporter, Kaylee Schuyler. Kaylee, I know that we are still following this very closely. The search for the suspect does continue.
Hi, Carell. Police are nearly 72 hours into this manhunt, and they are desperately looking for any clues or evidence to help crack this case. Now, the new photos and videos still aren't super clear, but they're hoping there's something recognizable about this person of interest, especially for those who may be close to him. This person of interest is described as 5'8" with a stocky frame. In the videos, you can see he's wearing dark clothing, a black face mask, and a black beanie. Police say the shooter used a 9mm handgun to fire more than 40 rounds into a classroom during a final exam review on Saturday. But a gun hasn't been recovered, and the FBI is now offering a $50,000 reward for help in arresting the suspect. Officers are going door to door asking neighbors to check their home surveillance cameras for any clues that could help. And it was around 1 o'clock yesterday when they started brushing through snow and digging through dumpsters in the neighborhoods near campus looking for any evidence. They were scattered all around this area around the engineering building. But officials say they are working around the clock during this manhunt.
Leads, canvassing neighborhoods, and developing intelligence. And right now, our evidence response teams remain on campus processing the scene. And folks from our lab, from Quantico, are documenting the trajectories of the bullets to reconstruct the scene. It's painstaking work.
There is a small growing memorial here outside of the engineering building, and we now know it was a 19-year-old girl and an 18-year-old boy who has died from the shooting, but we don't know if there's any connection between the shooter and the 2 who have passed away. But the FBI said last night that the person of interest definitely targeted Brown University. But despite not knowing where the shooter is...
But why?
Officials have admitted they can't say whether he had left the state or not.
Well, I mean, we're not going to know anywhere close to why until they can't even identify this motherfucker.
The mayor of Providence says the community here is safe. Carell.
And Kaylee, I do just have a couple of questions before I let you go. So interesting because the search for the suspect continues. We don't know where they are. Have you seen any increased police presence? I know that you saw investigators kind of combing through the scene over the past several hours, but what about police presence right now to make sure that people are safe?
Brother Dwayne.
Oh, yeah, Carell, there
are
police driving everywhere, not only in this area, but across the city, and they said they were going to do that, so it's been good to see that there's been a lot of security. Since I had to be up early this morning, I actually had to go out to my car early just to grab some things for work, and actually a police officer pulled up to me and wanted to make sure I was okay because I was out when it was still dark. So that's been really good to see.
And then one more thing, Kaylee, because we don't know where the suspect is right now, have you heard any inkling from investigators as to which direction they may have taken?
Right now, so I'm standing here in front of the building now. All they've told us so far is that the suspected shooter headed in this direction from the building, turned onto Waterman Street, and that's really all we've been told so far. So it's we definitely have a lot more questions than answers. We've been asking about what's next. Right now, we've just been told that they're following leads and taking it from there.
All right, Fox multimedia reporter Kaylee Schuyler, we certainly appreciate your time. Take care, and we'll talk soon. We want to pivot now, though, staying on this story, but bringing up a social media post that, once again, we have from FBI in Boston there, in which they include a photo of the press conference that Kaylee was referencing in her report. So you can see here several law enforcement agencies joining together. They're partnering to announce that $50,000 reward for information leading to the identification, arrest, and conviction of the individual responsible for the mass shooting at Brown University. The post goes on to say, quote, please share this seeking information poster, and if you have any information, contact them at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Our agents and analysts.
Yeah, that's brutal.
This remain fully embedded with our law enforcement partners.
Well, now that, they've got to really, the FBI is really going to, they do what they do best as well, is relying on the public for information. And that's what they're doing. They're getting the public involved. Anyways, new details emerge in murder of Rob Reiner. And ladies and gentlemen, this is our last update for the morning. And but make sure you guys stick around because we're also going to be rating our buddy Black Dragon at the end. So make sure you guys stick around for that. All right, so let's go ahead and show this off right here. New details. Boom.
Turning now to a story that we are continuing to follow, and I want to take a look at this. A social media post from a TMZ. It says LAPD releases Nick Reiner arrest photos in murders of Rob and Michelle Reiner. This comes as Los Angeles police set to present a case to prosecutors today following Nick's arrest in the killings of his parents. Joining us now to discuss this with the live report is Mario Ramirez over at Fox 11 in Los Angeles. Mario.
Hi, Carell. Good morning to you. We know charges have not yet officially...
What's up, Brown Chicken? Great to see you in the chat, bro. Over there from the coffee crew, my man.
Been brought against 32-year-old Nick Reiner. We can't tell you, 24 hours ago, we were at the home in Brentwood where Rob and Michelle were stabbed to death. They were discovered Sunday afternoon, and we know that this morning, Nick is expected to appear in court here downtown. As early as this morning, we're still waiting for those official charges, which should come as early as this morning. Now, police say their youngest son, Nick Reiner, is now the focus of this murder investigation. It'll soon be in the hands of prosecutors. Authorities confirming the 32-year-old was arrested Sunday night on suspicion of stabbing both his parents to death inside their Brentwood home. The couple, Rob Reiner, 78, and Michelle Singer Reiner, 68, found dead Sunday afternoon by their daughter, Romy, according to reports from TMZ. And
it's fucking terrible, man.
Nick wasn't at the house when police arrived. Detectives believe he left sometime after the attacks. And
I wonder what his actual motive was there, like the lead up, why he did that. Must have been an obvious internal affair, you know. But I do know that he's had a long history of drug problems and stuff as well.
Night before, he was seen at a holiday party, Conan O'Brien's Christmas party, where an argument reportedly broke out between father and son. And we know that Nick's struggle with addiction and mental health issues has been apparent for years. Meanwhile, TMZ also reporting that after that argument Saturday night, Nick checked into a Santa Monica hotel early Sunday morning before the attacks, and he was taken into custody eventually Sunday night around 9:15. So, Carell, we can tell you that Nick is currently in custody. He's being held at the Twin Towers Correctional Facility, which is just down the street from the courthouse. And as we wait for those official charges from prosecutors, we can tell you that he is on suicide watch. We learned that early this morning, and initially he was being held on $4 million bail. That has now changed to being held with no bail as we wait for that case to be presented to the District Attorney's Office here in LA County. For now, live downtown, I'm Mario Ramirez. Carell, send it back to you.
All right, Mario, thank you so much for that update. We'll be checking in with you later on today. Taking us back out to that social media post that I first showcased ahead of bringing Mario in. Again, TMC saying that LAPD has released Nick Reiner arrest photos in the murders of Rob and Michelle Reiner. Now, the Reiners were outspoken advocates for liberal causes and major Democratic donors. And I also want to turn our attention to this as something else that was making headlines, which is the response that President Trump had on these murders that he posted to Truth Social. Taking a look here on your screen, actually the statement via X. He said this, quote, "A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but what's very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. The president in this post went on to say, quote, "He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. And with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace."
Shit. All right, so that is the end of our news cycle for the morning, ladies and gentlemen. Motobomb, I can't thank you enough for hanging out with us as well, and as well as sending the coffee crew over to us this morning. I very much appreciate that. All right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back tomorrow morning for more of the World's Madness. This is what we do here Monday through Friday. And, of course, Saturday is members only. So make sure you guys subscribe, as well as hit that like button. Double tap that screen on the vertical side. I very much appreciate all your guys' engagement. All right, so stick around. We're going to be rating our buddy Black Dragon. Stick around for that, and we'll see you guys over there. Much love, honor, respect, and God bless everyone.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burns.